Hi students, here is Madhusmita Pradhan. Today we will discuss UPS. First class I have already taught about UPS, what is UPS and what general principle of UPS. Today we will continue the chapter UPS. So last class we have discussed about what is UPS and the types of UPS. The types of UPS are three types of UPS are there. First is online UPS, offline UPS and line interactive UPS. So let us little recall what we have discussed in our previous class. First, online UPS. Here online UPS, three modes are there in online UPS. First, in power on mode, this one is power on mode. In power on mode, here main supply is on, or our load draws the main supply AC from that main supply. Our load draws current from main supply. So the main supply flows through the rectifier and inverter and through load. This one is in power on mode. And second is power off mode. In power off mode, when the AC main supply is not available, at that time our inverter draws current from our battery source or from DC source. Inverter here converts DC into AC, and from that manual bypass switch, inverter supplies AC to our load. This is in power off mode. And third is UPS failure mode. When our UPS fails or some interruption occurs in inverter or in battery, or the inverter or battery system are not perfect, at that time by that manual bypass switch we have to manually on this switch from the inverter to the main supply, or we have to switch this switch from the inverter line to push this side to connect this from main supply. By this our load draws directly current from the main supply. This time in this case, in this UPS failure mode, our switch draws main current from the main supply and this system is disconnected because some fault occurs in inverter and battery. That's why our load draws current from this main supply. These three are in online UPS. And now we will see what is offline UPS. Offline UPS is also called as standby power mode supply. This is the block diagram of offline power supply. So in offline power supply, our load is connected to the AC mains, or the primary source of supply is our AC main, and this is the inverter section is the secondary source of supply, or this is also called a standby mode of power supply. So in this case, when this AC mains off or our load cannot draw the power from the AC mains, that time the static switch automatically connects to the inverter line. This is automatic switch, and this static switch automatically connected to the inverter line, and from the battery, inverter draws voltage from the battery and converts DC to AC and supplies AC to our load. So today we will discuss about line interactive UPS. So this is the block diagram of line interactive UPS system. This is the input main supply. Input main supply is in given input to AVR. This is automatic voltage regulator AVR. AVR generally a automatic transfer, auto type transformer, in which many secondary coils or secondary tappings are there, which acts as a voltage regulator. It also a type of voltage regulator, or it controls voltage. The input main supply, what we are giving input to AVR, from these multiple tappings of AVR, it controls the output voltage of AVR. So when input voltage is less or more, when it is less, then it increase the output voltage. If it is more, then decrease the output voltage through this AVR. And the output of AVR, the output voltage of AVR is given input to a static switch. The static switch is generally always in on condition, or generally this switch is on. So by the help of the static switch, the output voltage of AVR given to line conditioner. line conditioner is generally a voltage regulator or power regulator which smoothens the voltage that given to our critical load, or generally the load we have connected, it smoothens the output. So line conditioner is just given before into the load, or it smoothens the input given to the our load. So here in this direction our input voltage supply, our input is given to our critical load. So some part of AC current, AC supply is also we are storing in form of DC in battery. Look here, this is the direction of AC line, or the AC we are giving directly to our critical load, and some part of AC also, this is the a charging circuit or DC converting circuit, this one, by which some part of AC we are converting to DC and storing that DC voltage in battery. So what happens here, some part of AC comes to the main transformer, and from the main transformer that AC current comes to power control unit, PCU. Generally a power control unit is a rectifier circuit which converts our AC into DC, and that output of power control unit is given input to a charge controller. Charge control circuit is a control voltage controlling or voltage regulating circuit by which the output voltage we can control, or we can regulate the output voltage, that amount, that voltage we have to store in the battery, or the charging voltage of the battery we can control by using PCU and charge controller. So the some amount of AC here by this help of circuits converted here into DC, and in that DC is stored here in battery. So this much function when our main supply is on, or when we are getting our AC main source. When we are getting continuous AC source, that time from the AC source also our critical load functions, or our critical load runs simultaneously at the same time also we are charging our battery. But when our AC main supply is off, when we are not getting our AC main supply, that time we are using our battery, or inverter circuit here draws voltage from the battery. From the battery, the DC voltage is converted into AC with the help of this inverter circuit, and that AC is fed into that main transformer, and from the main transformer the AC into line conditioner, and the line conditioner to critical load, by which that load runs by getting battery, or when AC mains is not available, that time our load is run with the help of the battery power supply. So next we will see the load power factor. So we have finished the three types of UPS. First is online UPS, second is offline UPS, third is line interactive UPS. Now we will discuss what is load power factor. So how much load power factor means how much load we can connect to a UPS, that is the load power factor of a UPS. So here is a formula to calculate or to know the how much load we have to calculate, we have to connect our UPS. Power rating of a UPS generally we are saying or calculating in volt ampere. So for example, if you were using a UPS of 120 kVA, 120 kVA means that voltage rating of the power rating of a UPS is 120 kVA. So 120 into 1K means 1000, and VA, that power rating VA is 0.8. This is a constant 0.8. So when you are calculating this sum, we are getting 96 kilowatt. So from this calculation we came to know that we can connect 96 kilowatt of power of load to a UPS. Indications in UPS. So when we are using a UPS, some general indications are there in UPS. some generally two types of indications we are using. One is visual and second is audible. Visual means the things we can see, and by seeing that we are getting some symptoms or indications, that signs that are visual indications. And audible indications are some sounds or some alarms. By hearing that we came to know some failure or some problem arises in UPS, that are generally to draw our attention. That visual indication and audible indications, that these both indications are generally to draw attention of the user. So what are the types of indications generally used in a UPS? We will discuss. Online battery mode. These are that front panel of that UPS have some indications, some indicator lights and some buzzer sounds also. So that LED when glows in against this online glows, we came to know that our UPS is now in online mode, or UPS running from the online power supply, that is online mode. When online LED glows, we came to know that we are knowing that UPS is running online mode. And when our battery, that LED against that battery mode if glows, then we are coming to know that our UPS is in battery mode, or UPS draws current from the battery. So our UPS is running on the battery mode. Overload. So when we connect excess load to our UPS which is beyond the capacity of UPS, that time that overload LED glows also simultaneously with that LED, some UPS also giving that alarm sound, by which we are coming to know that our UPS is overload. Low battery. In low battery, when our battery is coming under charge or already it discharges more, that low battery LED glows. By seeing that low battery indication, we are coming to know that we have to shut down our UPS, or our battery is already in low power stage. Battery status. To know what is the status of battery or how much charge is in battery, some array of LEDs, series of LEDs, number of LEDs are there, by which or by seeing that LED glows, we can know what is the status of our battery, or our battery is full charge or half charge, or how much charge is there, we can know by seeing that array of LED or number of LEDs. Also the same process, that load status, we can see the status of load, or how much load is connected and how much extra we can connect to our UPS. We can see by this load status or the indicators of load status. This is also series of LEDs by which we can know also load status. Some parts of that UPS are power circuit, inverter circuit, battery charging circuit, power supply, failure mode and alarm circuit, and microcontroller. These are the main important parts that we are using in a UPS circuit. Power circuit is the input power supply we are giving to the UPS, that is the power circuit or input power to 30 volt and 50 hertz AC supply we are giving to the input of a power input to the power circuit, and that power is generally fed to a auto transformer, by which we can control or vary the required amount, and we can control the power of that input. Inverter circuit. A inverter circuit includes generally a battery charging circuit, overcharging protection circuit, low battery indicator. So a inverter circuit generally includes battery charging circuit, by which a battery charges, and overcharging protection circuit. If that is overcharged, then it is automatically cut off. The charge. That is overcharging protection circuit. And low battery indicator circuit. If that battery discharges more, or battery is in low power mode, that time it indicates a low power indicator, or it indicates a sound which indicates the battery is low. Now we will see power supply failure and alarm circuit. When our power supply fails in UPS, when our power supply fails, that time it indicates a sound and alarm. It glows a LED by seeing which we can know that power is off, and also buzzer, it gives some buzzer sound by which attracts our attention, and the users can know, by which the users can know now the power is off. So this is the circuit diagram of a power failure indicator alarm circuit. So what happens here? This is the AC main supply which is fed to a transformer, which is that common mode is generally connected to NO. This is normally open. This is a relay normally open. So when the AC supply main supply is on, our common is generally connected to NO. So this circuit, this LED light and buzzer is disconnected, and when that continuous power is coming to the UPS, when the main supply is on, that time this LED and buzzer, these two are not working. But when the power is off, when the AC mains is off, when we are not getting the AC mains, that time this common is connected to NC, that is normally closed. When common is connected to NC, that time from the 12 volt battery, our LED and buzzer, they both are getting some voltage, by which LED and buzzer, they both are energized, and we can see that LED light, the glow of LED light, and we can hear that buzzer sound also, by which we can know that now that power is not available or power fails. This is the circuit diagram of power failure indicator and alarm mode. Microcontroller is a generally small IC which contains a processor, memory, programmable input, output, and peripherals. Microprocessor is generally a main IC which we are using in many equipments to control the all the operations. So here also we are using a microcontroller. Now we will see what are the faults and rectifications in a UPS circuit. So generally, what expected faults we can find in a UPS, and what are the checkpoints, and what the repairs, and what can be the possible repairs we will do to repair an UPS. So symptom. First symptom, UPS is dead, LED green does not glow. First symptom is our UPS is in dead. When we are doing the switch on or supplying AC, that time our LED green LED not glows. That means that UPS is in totally dead condition, that is not on totally. So what are the expected faults or checkpoints? Main fuse, maybe chances of fuse blown, main lead, plug top, main supply, or maybe these are the expected faults, or maybe we are not getting that proper AC or power supply not coming to that input supply. So these are the checkpoints, and what are the expected repairs? So we have to replace the fuse. If the fuse is burnt, we have to check that fuse, where the fuse is proper in proper position, or the fuse is blown. So if that fuse is blown, we have to replace that fuse. And if some loose connections are there, by which that AC current not properly coming to the input, so we have to check that loose connections, tighten that loose connections. If main supply is absent, then UPS will not operate. If main supply is not available, means if our home is not getting AC supply or power failure mode, so that time also our UPS is not operate. UPS operates, but it gives no backup period. Our UPS operates, it is in on mode, but it is not giving backup. Not giving backup means two possible cases are there. First is more possibility are there the charging circuit is not charging the battery, or the charging circuit is faulty, some fault is there in charging circuit for which the battery is not getting charged. So we have to rectify the charging circuit, and if our battery is dead, so you have to replace that battery. If our battery is dead, that means our battery is not charging, so we have to replace the battery by a new one, so that our battery charges. UPS does not operate, but it is not dead. Our UPS is not operating, not also dead. So some control circuits may be fault, some control circuits relays may be fault, so we have to replace our relay or some controlling circuits. UPS does not operate. If our UPS not operating, also not dead, so we have to, in this case also we have to check filter, capacitor, relays, etc. So in total we have to check our AC supply, fuse and relay and rectifier circuit, charging circuit, battery, etc. in order to repair a UPS, or in order to find what are the faults in a UPS. Now I will give you some assignments. Please write in your note and do it. Students, please note down the assignments. I will show some assignments to you. Here are some questions. In an online UPS, the power is in what mode? You have to choose this multiple choice. What is the correct answer? The second question, in an offline UPS, the chargeover takes place in what? 1 cycle, quarter cycle, half cycle, continuous cycle. Third question, the shape of the output wave in a UPS is in what mode? Sinusoidal mode, square mode, triangle mode. Fourth question, backup duration of UPS depends on what? That backup giving, the battery giving backup, it depends on what? The rating of battery, the rating of UPS, or both. In order to reduce the size and weight of UPS and improve the power factor, the bridge is used with what is that electronic component we will use for this? You have to choose the perfect one, this. And UPS means, this one is very much simple and I expect you all can answer this. UPS means, or what is the full form of UPS? You have to choose a correct answer from what is the UPS. Variable power supply, uninterrupted power supply, failure of power supply, none of these. So please do all these 6 assignment questions, all of you. Thank you. You have any query related to today's topic, you can ask your queries through my WhatsApp number. Here is my WhatsApp number 8917671707.